Yeah, the idea is we should be using the word creativity and the thoughts of creativity through all the stages. It shouldn't just be when we're making the content. It should be the first meeting with our clients. It should be the first thing we talk about, and maybe we won't make advertising. Maybe it's a business solution that you use creativity for that. But it definitely doesn't mean you don't need the craft. Of course, you need the craft. The work is so important because you might have a great idea of way to attack a problem, but if you don't have breakthrough content, then it's just a waste of money. You need both. You know what? It's a great question. No one's asked that question ever. I don't think it'll be that much different. I think creative people will always have jobs. I think people that are good problem solvers will always have jobs. There might not be advertising or advertising agencies, but I think the need to solve problems with creativity is only getting bigger. So there'll just be new ways of doing it. I mean, we were solving problems way with creativity before the internet, and now that's just the most incredible tool we have. So I think there'll be more and more things, whether they're virtual reality, whether there's some great experiences that are different, or the technology will get better. But when you strip away the technology, a lot of those ideas I showed, it's just a great idea at its core. So I think that hasn't changed since the 50s or 60s. It's always about the good idea. That's why Mad Men, even though it seemed much easier back then, it was still about the idea. So I don't think it'll change that much. The technology will, but the need for creative people to solve problems won't. No, I just think you're finding more and more brands use social platforms, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, or because of, money, it's still pretty affordable to go on Facebook. It's still pretty affordable to use other social platforms. I always tell young copywriters, learn how to be a writer in social media. You'll have a job. It's kind of what radio was to people of my generation. Social media is that. So I think it's still the Wild West. Does that make any sense? The Wild West in America was this time where the cowboys ran free and it was crazy. The internet is still this thing where there aren't a lot of rules. Television, so many rules, and other media, so many rules. But so I think it's going to get more exciting. I think people will find more ways to manipulate it for good. To me, purpose-led marketing has a brand behind it, and it's selling a product. Always Like a Girl, it didn't show tampons, but it was selling a lot of tampons. And but it's not a charity. Always is not a charity. Coca-Cola is not a charity. So that's the difference. I think we're so quick to lump them together. It's charity work and social care work and these things that feel like it, that have the qualities of it, but are really brands, doing the right thing. But the benefit they get is strong. I worked on a thing at my old agency with Kraft mac and cheese. Put a homeless guy as the voiceover for Kraft mac and cheese 3 or 4 years ago. Won Titanium. It wasn't done to win an award, and we didn't focus on how much the sales of Kraft mac and cheese went up, but they did. But they were doing the right thing. Took a homeless man to promote their charity work they do for ending hunger. So, but we don't talk about how well it did for the brand for sales, but it did. So I think a lot of these things are done. I don't think we don't have to be feel bad about it. It's not something that's sneaky. It's just saying the more we can get companies doing helpful things that also helps their products, the better, because then we'll get more of it. They have the money. These big clients have the money. When they put their will behind it, it's really powerful. I think you're going to find more of it, and I think that's good. I think brands that are saying, hey, we should also be talking about some other things and maybe some issues that we can help solve. How is that bad? It's not charity. I think it's intentional and it's a good thing. It's real. And who cares if it's a brand as long as the people are being helped or some problems being solved, who cares if the brand also gets some love in the world as a reciprocation? I hope so, because then more brands will want to do it. So I think it all depends on the success. That's why the answer to that gentleman's question was, you have the cases now. Go show other clients, hey, we could be doing stuff like this. Coming here, coming to other going to other places, when you grow up in the U.S., you don't travel as much as people who live in this part of the world or live in Europe. You get to experience different cultures just from going from Argentina to Brazil to Peru. I mean, it's a very different, obviously, cultures. In America, it's a big country, and unless you have a lot of money when you're young, you're not flying to Europe and taking trips to other places. You have the U.S. and Canada and Mexico. That's maybe what you get, but mostly the U.S. So to be able to, because of this job, it affords me the opportunities to go to all these cultures. I was just in China, and they are using creativity to survive, and they're learning, and they're not as advanced as Latin America is, but Latin America 10 years ago wasn't as advanced as it is today creatively. So that's what the job inspires me. I see it being a leader, one of the leaders, one of the regions. I mean, we look at a lot of the great ideas are coming from Latin America on big brands. So I think it's a leader. I think the U.S. is doing great work. I think parts of Europe are doing great work. Asia is getting much better, but I think Latin America is a very exciting place, just because there's a real desire. And clients, the Coca-Cola client Guillermo, when you sit and talk with him, he's amazingly passionate about doing powerful work. So I think it's awesome. It's only going up. I only hope that someday I will be as loved as Jose Moya. I do not have the looks of Jose, but maybe someday. So we'll see. No, it's cool. It's a cool festival. I'm just going through with a lot of people. That's why also I'm here. I'm going to sit with Chavo. I'm, sitting with Martin tonight and sitting with Chavo, and all the regional people have come in from places like Peru and Chile, and they're here. So we're going to meet for the next 2 days and go over all the work and see what we have. I think there's a lot of exciting things. People are excited. So that's the best part of my job, is to look at stuff, to work on stuff. Thank you. Appreciate it.